you guys aren't tilted. Hey everyone, it's Kathy here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video is gonna be kind of like a new one. I wanted it to be the second installment of Book Talk Made Me Read It, but I'm gonna be real. Some of the Book Talk books have been like just so repetitive and none of them like really intrigued me or really interested me. So I thought, why not make a video of books that made me fall in love with reading again. If you guys knew anything about me, basically high school, a lot of my friends always saw me with a book at hand and I loved reading. I think I read like every single romance book in my school's library. I wanted to do this video because reading is another sparked interest back into my life. 7 years later, here I am reading and I have 5 books that I want to really talk about. So these 5 books made me fall in love with reading yet again, and I'm just going to start off with some classics to brand new books that I have read. So if you guys like this video, please give this a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to do more book videos, because I love book videos. Honestly, reading is one of my passions, and I did go to school for English to be a writer. So yes, I love reading. It just brings me so much joy. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. So this first book, I genuinely think it's such a classic. And I just love this book. It's something that I gravitated towards. And during like the last few years when I was like obsessed, like hyper fixated on reading, this is a book I always reread. It's just such a feel-good book. This book is perfect for the summertime. It's a perfect summer read. And I know summer is over, but this book, you won't regret it. It's Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Just the cover screams summer. Basically, this book is about a girl named Emily, and her best friend Sloane goes basically missing, but she left Emily a list of things to do this summer, like a bucket list. And the reason why she did this for Emily is because Emily is a really shy girl, Sloane is more outgoing, so she wanted to push Emily out there, and Emily thinks this will lead her to Sloane. And it's just like a summer filled with adventures where she finds herself, finds some new friends, and just goes on these journeys she would have never expected and receive answers to where is Sloane. And I just feel like this book literally screams high school summers, how it's supposed to be. This is one of my comfort books. I always love reading these books. Morgan Matson is one of my comfort authors as well. I just think this book is so good, and I just feel like there's just comfort in coming of age book. There's some romance, there's some mystery, you know, like it has it all. Whenever I read, I love to put myself, like imagine myself in this scenario and just like kind of live off like this alternate reality. And this will forever be on my bookshelf. So yes. Okay, this next one, I was not expecting to love it so much. This next book is Legend by Mary Lou, and it has such divergent vibes. It's postmodern where like districts are separate, like obviously the rich and the poor, and it's just like this whole classist system where I forgot what age you take it, but like when you're like pretty young, I want to say like 15, 16, you are put into this test to see where you are in IQ level type of thing. And basically there's this girl named June, and she is known to be the legend of this society because she scored perfectly on this intelligent test. She skipped all the high school levels to like train for the military. She's very high advanced. She's like the strongest team member they have. She crossed paths with Day. Day is another story. Day is the most wanted person in this postmodern society just because he was known to steal something. But what June's mission is, she made it personal because she believes that Day killed her brother. So she goes undercover, befriends Day, and just kind of looks for him. And guys, I'm just not gonna say any more. This book is so good. Oh my god. Listen, I'm a romance lover. I love romantic comedies for movies. I love romance books. This book, guys, there's just something in it. Like there's some magic in it that made me enjoy it. There is some romance, there's some action, there's some mystery, and it just kind of keeps you on your toes. I swear, I could not put it down. I think I finished this book in like 2 days, and I'm a slow reader, guys. Like sometimes I have to reread stuff. Ask anyone. I'm the slowest reader ever. I did not expect much from it, and I only read it I feel so embarrassed to admit this, but to be honest, I only read this book because it was during quarantine and my hyperfixation is Dream, and Dream said this is his favorite book. Yes, that Dream. You know, the green blob, the Minecraft YouTuber Dream. Yes. Okay, moving on. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm looking for a new book, and this book did not disappoint. Mary Lou, mwah, chef's kiss. I love her. Oh my god, you guys just you need to read this. Love those like postmodern society books and thriller books, but it also has a little sprinkle of romance. So yeah, Legend by Mary Lou. Yay! I love this book so much. I have been sleeping on this book, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my god. I had my theories on it, but I was wrong. This book follows a reporter named Monique, and she gets to report on someone who is very secretive, but she is like high class old Hollywood, named Evelyn Hugo. And everyone wants this story, but she gave it to Monique. And Evelyn Hugo does a tell-all with Monique about her life and all her secrets, all the secrets of Hollywood, all the crimes she committed, everything that happens behind the scenes. You really dwell right into the darkness of Hollywood, if I'm being real with you, like what people have to do and the dirty secrets to gain this fame and what they have to hide. Evelyn Hugo peaked during the 60s, 70s. How it's laid out is each section is one of her husbands, and she has 7 husbands, and at the end she tells why she chose Monique to tell the story. And oh my god, I did not even know. I didn't even like predict what's gonna happen at the end, but this book, honestly, it's a whirlwind of emotions. It has that mystery, it has that old glitz and glamour of Hollywood, and it also has romance. I love romance. You guys would just not regret reading this book. This book, it did take me a while to get through it because it's just such a good amount of information that I can't read it all to really thoroughly enjoy it. But this book, oh, so good. Honestly, I love it. Taylor Jenkins Reid is now like a must buy for me, so yes. Okay, the second to last book, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is like the first book I ever tabbed. So the reason why I bought it is because it's gonna be a motion picture and it's starring Lucy Hale, and it could be my Pretty Little Liars day, but I love Lucy Hale. She's like one of my favorite actresses. Honestly, my favorite actresses are Lucy Hale, Sydney Sweeney, and to be honest, those two are the only two that come to mind. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne is about, let's just say it's an enemies to lovers trope, and I love an enemies to lovers trope. Honestly, I call me basic, but it's just so good. You can't beat it. It's about 2 book companies that joined the companies together because they were facing bankruptcy. The 2 main characters, Lucy Hutton and Joshua Templeman, are the assistants to the 2 CEOs, co-CEOs of the publishing company. They just kind of like hate each other. They have different games like the staring game. They have like kind of like bluffs and everything, and like when one person has the upper hand, like they hate each other because they're just so different. In their job, they are getting a new position which elevates their hatred towards each other, but at the same time, Lucy and Josh start to form this friendship, and like kind of behind the scenes, Josh is very secretive about his past, and let's just say it's enemies to lovers, guys. Like I don't know how to talk about these books without ruining them, but this book is literally the epitome of enemies to lovers, and I really enjoyed this book. I finished this book in a few hours and I could not put it down. I just had to pause sometimes and I'm like, guys, I'm literally just a hopeless romantic. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. This next book, okay, just if you guys love enemies to lovers, this next book I'm gonna talk about, it's another enemies to lovers. Beach Read by Emily Henry. I want this to happen to me. I don't care. I want this to be my life. I want this to be my fucking life. Oh my god. Reel it back. This book follows Augustus Everett and January Andrews, And basically, they are two writers who end up being neighbors in a beach vacation town. Augustus is a literary fiction author, and January writes romance. My dream, honestly. January actually inherited this beach house from her late father. In this town, she is given this task of writing a book. She hasn't written a book in 2 years because she feels like true love doesn't exist. And Augustus Everett is kind of in the same boat where he has to write a new book. Like, both of their editors are on their back and they just haven't found inspiration for this new book. So they decide to come together and make a deal. So January's task is to write a literary fiction book, and Augustus's task is to write a best-selling romance book, because they're like, oh my god, it's so easy, like why couldn't you do it? Just to kind of like spark up some competition, you know? Throughout this book, you kind of find Augustus's and January's background, where they were nemesis in college, actually. And they kind of find out that there might be something more, but obviously both of them have pasts. Oh, it just can't be perfect, guys. So this town this summer is about writing the book and winning the competition. Whoever wins the competition, they have to shout each other out in their dedication, in their like press release and everything. So it's just a friendly competition, and during this summer season, they start to get to know each other, being friends, and just maybe relive memory lane. Who knows? Who knows? And yes, this book, I finished it in like 3 hours. There were some times I was like, because they're so good, honestly. I could not these two books down. I guess I'm literally now an enemies to lovers trope lover. Like, there's just something about it. There's a lot of tropes I love. But yes, I feel like this is kind of exposing my bookshelf type of video. But these 5 books literally made me fall in love with reading again. They are just such classics. I feel like if you are really into romance books, definitely these two. If you love the glitz glamour of like old Hollywood, kind of that era, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. If you love like action thrillers, Legend. And if you just want a good coming of age book of like a summer adventure, Since You've Been Gone is the book for you. Anyways guys, that is it. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any book recommendations, because I love books. I need new books, and if you know any good feel good romance books, hit me up. Oh my god, honestly, I love love, even though I've never been in love. But it's fine, you know? Gotta live vicariously through fictional characters. That's just my life, and I'm okay with it, you know? I love it, to be honest. Like, it's basically like experiencing love just without the mess. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week for a brand new video. I am coming out with a week in my life and so much more videos for you guys to check it out, so definitely subscribe down below. We are going back to posting every Mondays. Anyways, I love you guys very much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Bye!
That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect.